We are in the Finger Lakes, which is New York wine country, so let's go to a winery. We're camped at Cayuga Lake State Park, and let me do my whining now before we go to an actual winery. So we're supposed to be here for 3 days, but I think we're going to leave after just 2 and move on to our next destination for a couple reasons. One is it's supposed to rain the entire time we're here. Now the park is beautiful. Lake Cayuga, or Cayuga Lake, is absolutely gorgeous. We've been to Seneca Falls. We liked all that. Our campsite at first glance looks pretty nice, but as you're hearing the noise, yeah, here's the problem. This road is maybe 30 to 40 feet off of our campsite, and it makes a lot of noise. Listen, I mean, this is no country road. This is a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit road. This time of the day, maybe 10 cars per minute, so 600 cars per hour are going by 30 to 40 feet from our campsite. We can't really sit outside and enjoy it. So in view of the weather and this road here, I think that we're gonna move on one day early. But yeah, we can't really enjoy the lake with this weather. Anyway, and this isn't just cars. I mean, there's tractor trailer rigs up and down here all the time. It's kind of shocking to me that there's, you know, there's the campsite and here's the road. I'm standing almost on it. That there's not even a fence on this side. So if you were camped here with kids or something, I mean, if they get away from you for even a couple seconds, they can be out in this road. So yeah, not an ideal situation. Now there are other sites here, but they're sold out. And those sites are a little farther from the road back in there, you can see. And the park is beautiful, but it's just this road. And they also have another section to the park, which is over here, quite a ways off the road, but they have no, yeah, they have no hookups over there. So we could have gone and done that, but I would have had to pull out the generator because we don't have solar, and I don't think solar would have been all that effective in this weather anyway. So yeah, I think we're gonna move on. But first, off to do some real whining at the winery.
He does that dinner everything over there.
I told her, I was like, he came in, he's like, you pick him. I was like, okay.
I've never done that. I'm like, that's all I do. That's all. It's fun. I was married in Leroy, and then we had our honeymoon in California, San Francisco and Sonoma, all that. The only 2 states in the country they won't ship alcohol to is New York and Florida.
After Cayuga Lake State Park, we moved on to Brennan Beach RV Resort. It's located on Lake Ontario, right on the eastern edge. Has a beach right here on the lake. On one side is Deer Creek Wildlife Management Area with Deer Creek running through it. We were able to take a kayak trip down Deer Creek, and it emptied out right at the Lake Ontario on the beach at the campsite. This place is huge, 1,400 campsites, 2 restaurants in the park. They have a lot of amenities here, including a pool. Live bands on the weekends, all kinds of events. The park is packed on weekends, but during the week, it wasn't very crowded at all. I'd estimate of the 1,400 campsites, maybe 1,000 of them are people that are here long-term for the season or year-round, and they probably just come up here on the weekends for the most part. This was our site for the week, full hookup, 50 amp. And this is where they put most of the transients, I believe, that are only here for a short time. Every night, right about dusk, the sun sets into Lake Ontario. So it was a lot of fun to come down here with maybe an adult beverage. A lot of people did that. Sit on the beach and watch the sun sink into the Great Lake. Guys, we were headed out kayaking today. First, the flea market. Short stop at the flea market, I hope. All right, so now back to kayaking. Enough of that. All right, so our mission today, we are at Deer Creek, just off Route 3, not far from Pulaski, also not far from our campground. We're gonna paddle a few miles down Deer Creek, come out at the beach at Lake Ontario. I've already pre-positioned my bicycle down there, so I'll be able to ride my bicycle back to the truck and then come back and pick up Beth in the kayak, since this is gonna be a one-way kayak trip. Having this thing fully inflated now to manufacturer specifications, it's time to bet our life on it. All right, guys, we just launched, but they have a nice canoe launch, or canoe and kayak launch here, but it's out of order. As you can see, it's up on the bank. So it was a bit of a muddy launch because we had to get our feet in the mud. Should be a little over 2 miles, I think. Got a beaver dam up ahead. Not sure if we'll get through here with the inflatable or not. We'll see. We had to shoot through that little gap there, moving a bunch of stuff out of the way because we have a skeg rudder on this. And it wouldn't let us go down that other gap over there because it was blocked by a log under the water.
Cheers.
Kaboom. All right, today we're headed up to the Thousand Islands area to visit Bolt Castle. That's in the St. Lawrence Seaway, right at the border of Canada and the USA in northern New York. And after Bolt Castle, we'll see what else we can get into up there. We're also meeting some friends that were in a previous video in Broad Auburn, friends that Beth went to high school with and has known for a long time. So it should be a fun day. All right, so our day here starts in Alexandria Bay at the River's Edge Hotel Resort. The boats leave here that go out for the scenic cruises to the Thousand Islands area and then to Bolt Castle. Today is
Get your legs out, girls.
Bolt Sister Royalty Day. So they all are wearing tiaras and sashes. Pretend Royalty Day.
To the 1920s. So these families, they made a fortune down in New York City, and then they came up here to build their summer cottages, but they're not really what we think of as cottages today. They're more like 30 to 50 room mansions. House, it's this big green one with the white trim. This was built by two best friends and business partners named Nathan Strauss and Abraham Abrams. Together, they founded the A&S department stores. You've probably never heard of these. That's because they renamed it to be Macy's.
castle for his adored wife, Louise, but she died before they ever moved in. He walked away from Bolt Castle forever, leaving it unfinished.
Bolt Castle is located in the St. Lawrence Seaway. It was built by George Bolt for his wife Louisa. They never got to live here. She died young. If you want to get out here, it is on an island. So there are local services on both the U.S. side in Alexandria Bay, and on the Canadian side, there's boats that will provide the service to get you out here. It's not very expensive at all. Or you can take a tour up and down the river, and they also will stop here and let you off, and then you can ride the shuttle back to where you started. It is a self-guided audio tour. You download the app, and then you can move at your own pace. You're not moving with a group of 20 to 40 people with somebody trying to talk over top of everybody else. I really like that because on our tour, pretty much we're never in a crowd. We were by ourselves walking around because you move at your own pace. All right, we're out in the Deer Creek Marsh Wildlife Management Area, going for a bit of a hike today. I think we might do a couple hikes today. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll take you along with us. This is actually the same marsh where we kayak through, but this is a different section of the Wildlife Management Area. We should be along Lake Ontario for part of this. All right, lots of rabbits here. Coming out now alongside the creek that we kayaked down a few days ago. Yeah, Lake Ontario is glassy smooth today. So the trail pretty much parallels the beach. I think we're gonna walk back along the beach. So Lake Ontario is actually the smallest of the 5 Great Lakes. Also the most eastern. We come in from the ocean on the St. Lawrence River. It's the first one you get to. But when you look out here, it's like an ocean. I mean, you can't see across it. It's vast. Hey, we're about 20 minutes from our campground, taking a short hike to Salmon River Falls. So this is supposed to be a 110-foot waterfall. Sounds pretty impressive. I can hear it. All right, so I'm going to try going down the Gorge Trail. It's been really wet, so I'm not sure if it's going to be passable or not. It's supposed to be really steep, but we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, we're coming up on some pretty cool views of this waterfall. Getting pretty wet here from the mist. So, yeah, just be prepared for that if you come down here. The rocks are, it's not incredibly hard or difficult or anything. The rocks are pretty steep and they're wet and they're slick, but if you're prepared for that, you'll be fine. For this, you might want to wear like one of those dour ponchos or something, because yeah, I'm pretty much soaked down here, so it's not bad on a hot day like today. If it were colder out there, it might be a bit of a problem, but incredible view from down here. Yeah, working your way back up is a bit of a slog. Everything's wet. LD's on the river. Cheers! Margarita madness. Running right beside our table here is the Salmon River. That's the same river that was going over the waterfall earlier on that short hike we were on. And it's really going off today because of the rain. It's not normally running this high at this time of the year. But they have a huge salmon fishing industry here, and they're shoulder to shoulder on this river from late August until sometime in October when it shuts down. But salmon fishing here is a big deal. Guys, we both got what's supposed to be a buffalo tradition. Beef on a weck. It looks like it's basically roast beef on some sort of a roll that starts with a K that I can't even pronounce, with fries and horseradish. Beth also got gravy on the side with her fries. So tonight is our last night at Brennan Beach RV Resort. We are trying to catch one last sunset. We're sitting here at the lake.
Oh,
At the beach.
at the lake.
The beach at the lake. So yeah, we're watching the sun go down, but it doesn't look very promising because there's clouds out in the western horizon. Will show what I mean. So we're probably going to wrap up this episode with this sunset, and until next week.